Nadia is a television news anchor, keynote speaker, author, trainer, and communications consultant.
19 #1 best-selling
have been nominated and won so many awards throughout your careers.
She has a wealth of experience interviewing and consulting with well-renowned figures, celebrities, and corporations. Nadia speaks on how to get people to like you, trust you, and want to do business with you.
Over the last few weeks, the entire world has been monitoring the treatment of your grandfather, Nelson Mandela. And my job was to introduce it and provide.
With topics like leveraging the power of your personal presence, networking for success, and lighting the fire. Nadia Bilchik.
Hello and a very good morning. So I had an extraordinary week because I did a keynote and had some training sessions, both virtually in person and coaching. So it was a very multifaceted week. But one thing that came up time and time again in every session was the ability to pause. So I thought I'd start off today talking about pausing when you give a presentation. So one of the most powerful non-verbal techniques in presenting is the ability to ask a question and pause, to make a statement and pause. So if you're somebody who speaks very, very fast, it's difficult for me to tell you to slow down your speech, but what I can say is pause more. So pause for at least 2 beats. And particularly if you're in a virtual scenario and you're asking questions, you want to pause so that people can unmute or type into the chat or put. And then there's pausing in our lives. And my favorite quote is by Holocaust survivor and psychotherapist Viktor Frankl. And he said this. He said, between stimulus and response, there lies a pause. And in that pause lies your power to choose. And I speak for myself as much as for you, is taking a beat, taking a moment before you respond to anything, an email, a text, somebody asking you a question. Just take a moment and say, is the way I am about to respond to this in harmony with the overall way I want to be perceived? And if we do that, we will prevent saying things we wish we could take back, which of course we can't. And how often do you say yes to something that you go, I wish I would have said no to? So take a moment. And if somebody asks you a question, for example, in a presentation, and you need a moment, either rephrase the question or say, I see that's really important. I'd like a moment to think about it a little more. Let me get back to you. Other people's urgency does not have to be ours. And if we were more deliberate and if we were more mindful in all of our communication, what would that look like? So it's just a reminder to all of us that it's so important to just be mindful, to think about it, to pause, both figuratively, take a moment, think about it, and also literally in presenting information. So that's my thought for the day. And I thought I would share this video today on what it means to truly own your space.
So what does it mean to own your space? So Own Your Space, which is my book, keynotes, workshops, is all around giving yourself permission to be the person presenting information. If you are giving a sales presentation or you are being interviewed for a new position, do you own your space? Do you look comfortable? Do you look confident? Do you come across both confidently and competently? And in owning your space, you need to understand the verbal and non-verbal elements of your physical space. In other words, what you say, but equally important is how you say it. And then we look at your virtual owning your space? Is your LinkedIn profile complete? Do you have a good picture of yourself? Think about owning your podium when you give a presentation. Do you look comfortable? Do you look commanding? So these are just some of the topics that I cover in Own Your Space. And I ask you to really think about, do you maximize the overall way you project yourself in every interaction? Because if you do, you are truly owning your space.